Hey guys, we're here at the Misaligned Minds bike ride. That's my mom.
So with this video today, I want to answer the question, is it wise to switch bikes often? Should you ride like the same bike all the time? Does it hurt you if you switch bikes? I'm in an interesting position to answer that question because this was the first time I'd really rode my road bike in about a month. For about a month, I've been riding my gravel bike and my spare road bike when I was doing shorter training rides. And the spare road bike has got a totally different size frame. I use different shoes and pedals, different handlebars. It's got a very different feel. So this was my actual first ride. So here we are in the Misaligned Minds, and that is Christy Brinker up ahead of me, and I've just kind of pulled into her draft there. And I'm in the second group right now, and I'm really wanting to get into that front group. And here comes some guys, there they are, that are going across. I should have jumped on them, but I didn't, and I stayed here and eventually decided to ride across to the front by myself. And here I am now in the front group with the group there was a group from Evansville, the Century crew, there was some riders, just some random riders. This was a really fast group, and in all honesty, I shouldn't have been there. I'm not fast enough to ride with these guys. We're going averaging 23, 24 miles per hour, and that's just really beyond me. I rode in this kind of group back in, I want to say, late May, early June, when they had the stroke ride in Paducah, and I lasted 7 miles before I blew up. So I did quite a bit better today, but still. Right from the beginning, I could tell that I wasn't as comfortable on this bike as I used to be. I haven't rode it in a month. The Tarmac, this is a Tarmac. My Tarmac, I've got a slightly more aggressive position. I'm not that aggressive, but a slightly more aggressive position than I'm used to on my gravel bike. And the gravel bike, you're just a little more stretched out. And I could tell I was not as comfortable. So fairly quickly into the ride, various muscles that I don't normally find hurting, that I haven't been finding hurting, were hurting. My back was starting to bother me, and certain parts of my legs, and I almost never have actually like pain or problems with my legs, but certain parts of my legs were really starting to hurt. And I could tell it was just, I just wasn't used to this bike. I'm almost sure, now, I don't know 100% for sure. It could be that I'm riding 23 miles per hour. But I was really not, at this point in the ride, I was feeling great. I was just in the group. In fact, I kind of slowly worked my way to the front, passing people here and there. I got behind this guy and hung with him for a long time. And, tried my best to kind of stay steady. And man, I tell you what, this was really a group. I mean, these guys were so smooth. That Evansville crew, they just rode together so well. And I couldn't believe they were going to do a century at the speeds we were riding. It was just really, really, really fast. Way faster than I'm used to. And I knew I couldn't do this for a whole 60 miles, let alone 100. I wasn't sure when I would start to crash and fall apart. But what happened, and I don't think I really have very much footage of it. So after I took my pull and I rotated to the back, I found it really, really, really hard to stay on. The speeds in the back were crazy. You were going 19, then 20, then 25, then 27, and then 28. And then all of a sudden you're going 19 again. It was so much harder to hang on the back. The guy in front of me was way smaller, and he was having no trouble with the change in speeds. And in fact, I said something like, God, it's hard back here. And he said, I like it. I was struggling. I really wanted to be back to the front. So as soon as I got a chance to get back to the front, I took it. And I don't know if people thought I wanted to go faster. I just wanted to get to the front. But when I got up front again and pulled for a while, I knew I'd done too much. I knew I couldn't do it, and I was dead.
Well, guys, I got 23 miles, I'd say, with the group, and I'm shot. That was too hard. Starting to hurt in too many places. Time just kind of ease in. Ooh, get the heart rate down.
So I got really lucky. I was riding more or less by myself in some pretty bad headwinds, and I was working pretty hard to go about 15 or 16 miles an hour. And these guys reeled us in, and I could see him coming from a long way, and it looked really weird because this guy in the orange shirt, he's on an e-bike, and he's basically riding standing straight up, setting straight up, and blocking a lot of wind. And the woman behind, she is working super hard and staying in this guy's draft. I thought they practiced this. They were doing such a good job. They were so smooth together. I struggled to get into her draft, and you would think with an e-bike and then this lady, you know, it would be easy to slip in there, but I was struggling. You can see I'm not doing a very good job here. My camera was getting loose on its chest strap, which is why it's bouncing so much through here. But I was not being very smooth. I was working really hard to get kind of locked into their draft and stay with them. It wasn't easy, but it made it so much faster because I was doing about 150 heart rate to go about 15, and now I'm doing 160 heart rate to go like 22 with these guys. So I rode with these two for about 12, 13 miles, I think, and it just flew by. But they stopped at the 50-mile stop, which I really didn't want to stop. I had plenty to eat and drink still, and I just wanted to get the ride done. I was really trying to catch my mom and dad, so I kept going. And I saw her at the end of the ride, and I came up and I said, hey, thanks so much for letting me draft, because she actually said, hop on, when they came by. You know, I mean, I would have anyway, but she actually invited me, and they were pretty nice and friendly and everything about it. Some people aren't, but they were. And I said, so where's your friend, you know? And she kind of looked at me and said, he's still out there. His battery died and he's struggling. And the way that guy was riding straight up and down, that was going to be a tough ride in. So at the end of the ride, I could barely set up. My legs were messed up, and they're still messed up the next day, but nowhere near as bad. They're just a little sore, but I hadn't felt that way in a long, long time, and I've rode hard rides before. I haven't felt like that. So I'm almost sure it was from being used to another bike and then switching out. I'm almost sure of it. I just think that if you change your position, change your ride, you're going to have problems. Watch this guy come by. Oh, man, he just revved that truck up. It's so funny. It cracked me up. I'm like, here I am. I'm riding this bike so hard that it's hurting me, and this guy shows off that he can hit his gas pedal on his big stupid truck. I was like, what a joke. But anyway, just interesting, you know, point about switching up bikes. I mean, it could have been the fact that I'm just out of shape. It could have been that my legs were just shocked. I didn't have any cramp issues. I didn't have any problem with that. But I've had 3 or 4 really good strong gravel rides of 4 or 5 hours the last few weeks, and I felt really good on those gravel rides. So, you know, I assumed I'd feel really good today, and I did, but oh man, my legs were sore afterwards, and I was really ready to get off the bike. I can't imagine riding 100 miles. And by the way, Brinker, she apparently, on her Strava at least, says she soloed 55 miles off the front. Oh my God, that's insane. In that headwind, I mean, that's like beast mode. So anyway, awesome ride. I can't wait for next year. It's got me kind of wanting to train up and get in better shape, and I'm really psyched. I hope, you know, because, I mean, this is a ride that's perfect for a bigger guy. I mean, you can go to this thing. There's barely a hill. 60 miles, there's like 1,200 feet of climbing. So looking forward to the next Misaligned Minds, guys. See ya.
They beat me by 5 minutes. Oh.